the thing is, one of my videos where I talk about being an autistic woman kind of blew up. And a lot of people have been giving me the feedback or answering with, oh, I struggle with making connections and relationships. I struggle to be confident within myself when I'm surrounded with people who may not understand me. Although today I'm just going to talk from my experience and a point of view that is completely aligned with what I've lived and my own values and whatever. You are more than welcome to see this video as advice. And when I address you, you are responsible to know what applies to you and what doesn't. If my words don't resonate with you, you don't have to claim them. And today this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about being on a spectrum and creating relationships that are healthy and where you feel secure and accepted and understood. I also want to maybe talk about how to gain that confidence, that inner trust, and being authentic without feeling the need to mask. And of course, all of these tips and advice and topics can totally apply to you if you're not on the spectrum. And to that I say that's perfect, because if it can reach more than just a specific community and it can help many people, then that's amazing. I consider this a great advantage and I'm happy. But today specifically, I want you to know that this video is made for people that are affected by their condition of being on the spectrum, and more specifically, hopefully, for the ladies watching me that may also be on the spectrum. Whether it's just autism or if you have ADHD or any other symptom that resonates with what I'm going to say today, this video is for you. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is maybe some of my words will be a little bit harsh, and they're not intended to be harsh. They're just a reflection of things that I've experienced and what they have taught me. So the first thing is, not everyone is gonna accept you, and it's not their job to validate us. And it may sound kind of controversial because a lot of the people they talk about, hey, like, we're not validated in these spaces. There's a difference between being validated and also maybe being accepted. Being accepted means that the people around you know that you have a place and you belong, and they're not going to question it. They accept you. They give you that space. But to validate, that means that they get on their level and they say, I understand. I know what you're going through. I understand. Not everyone is going to understand. And the thing is that we may have to recognize that this is just part of it all. We don't live quite yet in a world where being on the spectrum is widely known or accepted everywhere. And I don't want to wait on like society or the world to validate me. I want to validate myself. My feelings, my joy, my struggles are valid, whether others want to see it or not. In my past video, most of the comments were very nice, and I'm very thankful for all the kindness and the lovely people that commented lovely things. But not everyone did that, I received some crazy comments like that I was making up my symptoms and that I just needed to go outside and make friends and then my autism will disappear. It's so much more deeper than that. I don't want to wait after the world to validate me and my experiences as an autistic woman. I validate myself. And this is one thing that really helped me to create relationships where I felt accepted, safe within the relationship and with myself. I didn't need to make up anything. And I feel like that's the thing about validating yourself first. You give yourself the permission to be yourself because you don't need anyone else's permission. And it may be kind of hard because when you are different, when you stick out so obviously, it's kind of like an instinct to want the validation of like the tribe. But we don't live in tribes anymore. The whole world is too big for us to just wait for the validation of others. Now hear me out. I do wish that there's people that, will validate you in your life, your experiences. But what really matters is that they respect you. I want to be respected more than anything. I feel like this video is gonna be controversial. I don't know. I'm kind of worried about what I'm saying right now, but whatever. Maybe I should have chosen better words or whatever, but I still think validation comes from us first, from within. Not everyone is gonna give you that kind of, I understand what you're going through and it's valid, and that's just part of it all, and you gotta accept it, because then you'll have the respect to say, okay, that's not my problem. I'm not here to teach everyone. I'm not here to be everyone's bestie. I'm just here to be myself. And if they choose to be ignorant, that sucks, but it's on them, because we have all the resources, we have all the knowledge, and if they still choose to be ignorant and ignore whatever you're going through, whatever, it's up to them, to me, in my opinion. Now, by validating myself and saying, hey, what I feel matters, the experiences I'm going through matters, the needs that I have matter, I can be kind of picky with it. That means I don't have to settle down and lower my self-worth or put myself in uncomfortable positions to please others. I don't want to please others. And that's where comes the unmasking part. A lot of people commented about, okay, what is masking, I feel like I can't explain it quite properly. But the best way I can put it is, if you have some kind of weird behavior, little tics and little ways of being, and it makes you stand out even more. Some people may have made you feel in the past like, hey, that's weird, stop it. Or yourself, you're like, oh, others look at me in a weird way when I do that. This means I'm unsafe, or I'm not accepted, or it makes things harder if I want to get a job, I want to go to school, I want to make friends, Masking is kind of putting a barrier between these things that you do that you are. Here, there's a barrier in yourself. So it's like you contain a lot of it. I'm well aware that this is not something that is just happening with people that are on the spectrum, or for me, like a spectrum, ADHD, okay? I know that it's not just us, and it can be a very universal human experience, but what matters is that people may not live it at the same degree, and it's exhausting. When I used to think about it a lot, it's like my masking was very hardcore. It would go as far as the way I was moving, the expressions I had. I would look at myself in the mirror and practice my expressions, practice the way that I would talk. I was obsessed with how others perceived me, because I wanted to have the immaculate mask that no one could see through. So I was obsessed with how to make friends, how to be charismatic, how to express myself in a very eloquent way, how to. I basically crafted an idea of myself. And the worst part is that it didn't work. At the end of the day, in my essence, this is still who I am. So even if I carefully craft some kind of crazy mask and overanalyze my behaviors and everything, I'm still who I am. And I pushed myself to be someone that I was not at times. Not always. I always kept my essence and my values, but sometimes I just pushed myself so much, and I didn't even understand the things I was doing or saying, because I was just creating a mask, a persona. I faked so many things. And did it help me make friends? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was never a winning situation for me. So at some point later on, when I became an adult, of course, being in high school doesn't help. I feel like high school is kind of a wild jungle where a bunch of weird teenagers go after each other's throat. But becoming an adult, I found a lot of peace with myself. And I found myself quite alone and faced with many challenges that I was not thinking that I would be faced with. And one of them was like, who am I when I don't need to fit in? Who am I when I'm not being bullied into someone else? I always stayed kind of true to myself. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I completely changed everything. It's just the way that I was acting, you know. I hope this makes sense. But I was like, hey, I do have odd behaviors. I'm just gonna embrace them. I'm just gonna embrace my very intense emotions and passions. I can be very intense, and some people, they get scared by that. It's not my issue. It's not my issue. I'm just here to be the person that I am. That's it. And I have to, you know, I had to get to a conclusion where I'm like, I have to realize I don't control others. Because when I'm myself, people don't like me. When I'm pretending to be someone else, people don't like me. It's always gonna happen. So might as well just fully embrace and enjoy who I am. And at first it was kind of hard because realizing that a lot of my relationships were built on lies, a lot of my behaviors were forced. Realizing that I was trapped within myself. I made myself my own prisoner. I punished myself. I was my own hater, not hater, like punisher. So if I would say something a little bit odd in my conversation, I was like, no, this is not going according to the script. More flies. I swear, like before it was always my cats and my videos that would go crazy, and then now it's just stupid bugs. I'm so tired. But anyways, I was having a conversation and I was like, no, I was not supposed to say that. I slipped out my special interest or whatever, and then I would get mad, and then I would beat myself up about it. That kind of stuff. And I was like, why am I such a hater to myself? Like, what? That's crazy. I don't know. I do believe that self-love and self-acceptance is learned, is taught, is acquired. And that's what I had to go through. Because I had to be myself. I had to accept myself. I had to be real. I am real. I am a real person with real feelings, with real thoughts, real desires, and real ambitions. And for that very reason, what that means is that it should be the foundation of my relationships. The foundation shouldn't be who I think I should be. I hope this makes sense. Anywho, and this is how I became my more authentic self. And for those of you who are really hesitant, they're like, oh dang, like it's okay girl, it works for you, it may not work for me. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what works and what doesn't work for you, because I don't know your situation. What I'm gonna say is, no, not everyone is appreciating me, but a whole lot more people do. And cool people, genuinely, like I really like them. People who can appreciate authentic expression and can see the value in your unique traits are treasures. And by default, it also repulses the people that I don't really care about like that I don't really want to be close to. Because if they don't vibe with me being who I am, then I don't vibe with them. And therefore, what it did to me is just, it attracted so many more opportunities and great people that were truly aligned with what I wanted, who I was, my values. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. Be your own biggest supporter. And that's essentially the key to all of this. Like, you know, we're talking about authenticity and confidence, but authenticity and confidence is needed to build relationships. Being on the spectrum, you know, it will probably affect your relationships. It will probably affect everything in your life because it's who you are. But it doesn't have to be negative, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't have to be heavy. And this is not to undermine the issues that you may be faced with or whatever, because I truly understand. I truly do. But the truth is, I truly don't care. Like, I am very open. When I meet people, I'm very open to say, I'm on the spectrum. like I am. I have ADHD and I'm autistic. And here's the way that I am. Here's, you know, I give it all. I have nothing to hide. It's like I always said, I wear my heart on my sleeve, right here. I wear my personality everywhere. Yeah, I am who I am. And I'm very upfront about that. And it sets this idea, like, you know, for the people who get it, they'll get it. They'll be like, okay, she's on the spectrum, I get it. If they don't know, I'm more than open to answer the questions. Because some people, they really don't know. They're really like, okay, I've heard what autism means, but like, you know, can you explain how it affects you and everything? And I'm very open to talking about it. But for the people that, you know, they're gonna go, like, they're gonna start treating me in a weird way or whatever because of my, like, conditions, that just proves to me that I shouldn't be with them. And for the others, it just helps them navigate their relationship better. I'm a big fan of if they wanted to, they would. And of course, all relationships take work, communication, boundaries, learning, exploring each other. But being upfront about my conditions is what truly helps me navigate these relationships, as much as for myself with others. Now, it's important for me to establish some boundaries, like, for example, I'm very sensitive to sensory inputs. In romantic relationships, that means, girl, I'm not about all that, like, kissing and stuff. And it's not because I don't like you. It's just, you know, it's just like that. And other things, I can be like, hey, sometimes I get really intense about certain things, but it's not bad. It's just that I really like it, or I'm really passionate about this, or whatever. So sometimes I just come into the room and I rant about something really crazy, or I just talk passionately about it, but it doesn't mean anything, and you should just listen, and it's okay. These are just examples of how you can set a relationship to be a success. What leads to failure is a lack of understanding on both parties, because that's also something that we have to do. It's really important to put yourself in your partner's shoes, because, you know, if they don't have the same kind of spectrum as you, or like the same experiences or way of thinking as you, it's important to also understand your partner. These open conversations really help you to see each other eye to eye. So just make sure that they communicate in a way that you understand. For me, like, something that my partner, like, most of them always do, they communicate in very vague ways, and so it doesn't help me to help them. So I have to be like, I appreciate that you're communicating with me, but I need you to be very direct. And on my part, asking for direct, you know, whether it's feedback or whatever, I have to be able to accept it. Now, one hell of a big trap is a lot of people that are on the spectrum, or minorities, or, like, I'm gonna say especially neurodivergent women, tend to fall in relationships that are very toxic or abusive, because in my experience there's this fear that, oh, if I don't, you know, leave, no one else will want me because I'm too weird, I'm too whatever. And all I want to say is no, like, absolutely not. And I'm really talking about me, myself, and my experience. If someone makes you feel like you're too much, too little, if someone makes you feel unsafe to be yourself, they're just not your person. I feel like as a society, women, we are kind of brainwashed to be people pleasers. And I know it's not just women, I know it's a lot of people. But if you're here to please, this is not a relationship. This is a service. You're being a servant. There's a difference. This is why I said in the first place, you need to validate yourself, to have that confidence, to know that what you feel, what you think does matter. And to be authentic, to be true. Some people will try to take advantage of you, whether you are on the spectrum or not, just because they're broken, they're hurt, and they're gonna project that on you, and they're gonna try their very best to reclaim that little bit of power, or whatever the hell they want, from taking it away from you. And it doesn't have to be a reality. Don't be afraid of speaking up, whether it's for yourself or someone else. Don't be afraid to embrace yourself, even if you're different or quirky or whatever. You have your own strengths. You do. You have your own advantages. Embrace them. And I'm an advocate for authenticity. Be your own authentic self. I know it's scary because the world, everything is put in a box. Everything is put into a category. Everything. And if you don't fit into one of those, it can be extremely scary. It can be, it makes you feel so vulnerable. It makes you feel like you don't belong. But the thing is, you don't. And that's amazing, because you don't want to spend your life as a category, as a cliche, a stereotype. You don't want to spend your life following rules that were applied by someone else that may not even resonate with you. Embrace being the odd one out. Embrace it. It's truly a gift, it's a treasure, especially nowadays where everyone is copying everyone, and it lacks authenticity, it lacks being original. Everything sounds the same. All the movies are the same. The music, the influencers, everyone is just popped out of these crazy factories. You know what I mean? Everything is industry this, industry that. Be the odd one out. Truly. And know that there's people that are going to see you shine for who you are, and they will be attracted to it. Whether if it's romantic partners, friends, business partners. Know that you have that something, whether it's being autistic or not. I don't even care anymore. I think I'm beyond that subject now. You have that little something. Use it. You're divinely created, crafted so carefully. Do you know what are the odds of you being alive the way that you are? And you think you should go wasted because of what? Because of what? Who said no? Be the own boss of your life. You know what I mean? And in my past video I said, I struggle with being autistic. And it's true, I didn't lie. I didn't make it up. I didn't even think that video would get views. So I'm being real. What I want to say today is that one thing about me is that I learned to embrace my weakness and turn them into an advantage. I always said I was too emotional. Now I enjoy being emotional. You know what I mean? It became one of my strengths. I really advise you to do something similar. You don't have to fit into a category on the spectrum or not. You don't have to appeal to anyone but yourself. Validate yourself, okay? It's important. And a lot of you have said, I feel left out. I feel like I don't belong. I feel like the other one out. I feel like people don't appreciate me. Appreciate yourself. They don't see the value in this uniqueness of yours. But know that some people will. And I'm not trying to start a war like the neurodivergence versus the no, I want everyone to be accepted and loved and cared for. I want everyone to be happy, but that starts with being happy with yourself, healing yourself. And once again, I don't think that we belong in categories. It's okay if you find groups of similar interests. It's okay if you find communities. But oh my gosh, did you notice how everything got torn into something core, something aesthetic? Everything is a category. That's not how we work. You don't have to find your aesthetic. You don't have to glow up. You don't have to be someone else. You don't have to do anything but to be yourself. That's it. The rest will come with it. Take it or leave it. And like I said, this is entirely my experience. So these are all things that are true. I'm not lying to you. I would never lie to you about that. It's important to me. So I guess the moral of the story, okay, is that communicate, love yourself, violate yourself, be confident, have boundaries, believe in yourself, appreciate your flaws, and be kind, whether it's to yourself or others. Some people, they will hurt you. You don't have to hurt them back. Just create distance. And it doesn't matter. like, some people have left nasty fucking comments, and I don't have to answer them because I'm like, it ain't even my problem. Why would I waste my energy? Like, I don't even care, and I don't need to spread more anger or more hatred or more bigotry into this world. I just do me. That's it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have any other piece of advice. I hope that this was enough. I hope that it answered this craving that you had, the answers that you wanted. Maybe not the expectations that you had, but at least that it helped one person or two. With that being said, now I'll do my classic segment where I talk about things that I do, because hey, what can I say? You know, YouTube stuff. If you want to, I really highly suggest that you subscribe, like, or comment this video, because it really helps me, like it genuinely does. And the past growth has been incredibly amazing, and I'm trying to keep up with it because I do want to make a living out of this, out of my passion. I believe that our passions choose us, and the passion of expressing myself chose me at a very early age, so I'm trying to do it justice. You can find all of my links down below. I have an Instagram where I'm quite active. I always post the updates there. I have a Twitch channel where I want to do a stream very soon and chat up, you know, get to know you guys. And wait, I have a TikTok, but I don't know how I feel about my TikTok. I just kind of post whatever, but if you want to do like segments of my life and some random videos, you can go there. If you're interested in tarot and spirituality, of course I have my second channel. I'm still working on it though. I took a break from it for a while, but a lot of videos are coming up, so hey. And lastly, I do have a small business. I have a small business where I offer private readings, and so if you're interested in that, you can check it out. Many projects coming up. I have a Spotify podcast right now. I have maybe an ebook on authenticity that I want to write and publish. I think it would be interesting. So to keep up with everything that I'm doing, because I'm doing a lot of stuff, follow me. Thanks. And on that note, be proud of who you are. What the hell? I am. Are you? You should be. Why? No one else is like you. That's it. No one else can do it like you do. That's your magic. There we go. So, thanks a lot. And car horn. Thanks a lot. And I guess embrace it, because no one else will do it for you.